asked often about capturing of wolves. And I eventually ended up in writing some guidelines, manual, what can be done, but really these things, this is really, as I said, a craft, and they cannot be really learned by just listening at the presentation or reading the manual. You have to, this kind of knowledge is being transferred from one person to another in the old style, like master apprentice kind of learning. And it takes time, really, because there are too many details. I will just show you the outline of all the things and try to compare the methods and see. You will also judge for yourself what is really feasible and how much far you want to go and what effort does it take and all these things about. And also some of you are really dog liking persons, and I don't know if you like some of the things you have to do, but that's how it is when it's about capturing animals. You cannot always be gentle, especially when it's about large carnivores. They are not like butterflies, they are not that much gentle. So, a little bit of my background. I am from the veterinary faculty and biology department of the veterinary faculty, University of Zagreb, and I am basically a veterinarian. So when I do the field work on capturing animals, I have two in one. I am a trapper and also a veterinarian who does all the veterinary job. And I did my initial training of wolf trapping in Minnesota a long time ago, 1996, and I finished a PhD in ecology of wolves at the faculty of Zagreb, and I currently work as a professor of zoology at the veterinary faculty, teaching students of veterinary medicine, basics of zoology, future veterinarians. And for my professional work, I did a lot of trapping of wolves. Since 1998, there was no single year when I was not setting traps somewhere. And over these years, really 2 months per year, so far I captured about 85 wolves. And so I have some experience which I would like to share with you. So, why to capture animals? There are several reasons. One is the research, and for various, when you have the animal which is wearing the collar, previously was a GPS, a radio collar, now it's GPS. Many other things can be studied, depends on the aim of the person. For monitoring, for management purposes, then for some translocations, there also could be a conservation effort, like we had currently for limbs translocation, augmented population, and so on, and some other management needs. So there is always a need to capture, or at least to tranquilize or restrain the animal to be able to handle it. So how can be done? There are various approaches, depends on the various circumstances. Helicopter darting, it's been used or it's still used, of course, if you can afford it. Car or snowmobile chasing and darting, like some people do it as well, not very often. Flattery, and you have heard about that. Box traps, depends on the species, of course, for some species it works, some don't. Then leg snares and for leg hold traps as the last option. Which methods will be chosen depends on many things. Landscape. What kind of landscape is your study area? Not every method is suitable for every. If it's a forest area, of course you cannot do the helicopter darting from the air because you won't see the animals. Presence of other animals, if you are about trapping, where you can capture some rogue animals, you don't want that. Human interference, there could be more or less people in the area, that could also dictate the choice of method. Legislation, maybe some devices are not allowed in some countries, or public opinion can also dictate the choice of method. Not even, maybe even legislation would allow, but there is some opposition. And even project budget. For example, helicopter darting is very expensive and not everyone can afford. Some other methods need a lot of people, such as flattery. So, but I will actually omit all other factors, but just focus on this landscape conformation or environmental factors and how they govern the choice of method. For example, box traps, they can be used for any kind of terrain, in the mountains, in the forest, maybe even on the open, I'm not sure, but yeah, some people use it on the open as well. And even in Croatia, we put them inside the house, which is in the forest, like an abandoned barn or stable, which was used in the past for horses which were doing the forest work. Lynxes go in to search for rodents, and we figured out that they also go around the houses and regularly rub on edges, on corners of the house, and go inside, even on the attic, to search for rodents. So putting the box trap inside the house was a very good opportunity, and we've captured several lynx like that. Or we can put it somewhere on the forest road, where it's a steep slope on one side, on the other, and just block the rest, and let the animal funnel the animal through in the cage. And it works for lynx at least. It doesn't work so much for canids. Yeah. So everything is possible, but some things are possible just a few times. We have a saying like even the blind chicken can find a grain sometimes. Yeah. So if you capture something in a box trap, it doesn't mean that it can do it regularly. Yeah. So box traps, I will show you some unusual. I have several videos. What can be captured in a box trap during the wildcat? Yeah, if there is in the area. Not so many actually. So it was easy to resolve this situation. So a box trap captured everything what wants to go in. Sorry, another one. Oh, no, this one. This. Once you got the alarm from one box trap, and we happened to find a wolf in the box trap. So even this is possible, but rarely, very, very rarely.
They will be waiting.
If it's too loud, I will not try to speak. Okay, and this other video, sorry, squeezing, showing much more difficult animal in the cage. Yeah, they are very ignorant. They just walk. They think they are kings of the forest, and they will not. So they don't even bother. They could be easily breaking out of such cage, but they don't bother banging on the door. So we have to give them some boost with the quite dark usually, and then they break out. We never actually had any bear long enough in the cage to put it to sleep. They just, when they get excited, they break out of the cage. So this is cage for lynx, for bears. Okay. Another example of something what can enter into the cage. Yeah, okay. How about wolves? We saw that the wolves sometimes enter, but in most cases they will just think a little bit and then go other way. This is just, I took some videos from this year trapping season when we had some cages active in the forest, and actually it was very easy to find several examples of what wolves do. This one came almost to the middle, but then it sensed the human smell. The cage was put 1 week ago, and without using the gloves or anything, any protection. So when it entered the center, there was too much of human smell. It just jumped out. Yeah, this one decided, okay, let it go around, and this one as well. So you cannot really hope that you will regularly wolves or jackals in the box trap. Yeah, even the lynx, which had some previous experience with the box trap, this exactly same lynx which with the collar was captured in the same place a year ago, and now it has learned, even lynx, carefully sniffing, and then deciding, okay, I would rather go around this time. So it doesn't work every time. Okay, helicopter darting, I have no video of that, but we have seen this on documentaries many times. They have to get very low and not to chase for too long and so on. But the other way, chasing and darting from the ground on the open. So the point is that this can be done in the open areas. If there are no helicopters available, then there could be many eyes which will spot the animal. And then if it's flat enough terrain, then chasing the animal, in this case a wolf, and trying to dart it on the bumpy terrain, right? Might be done, but it's also a lot of effort. Yeah. It was done in Mongolia by P.ΠΕ.Κ.Α and the /F.D.KERKINI from Austria or Germany. So they did it, they captured two wolves. No, one wolf like that and one with the leg hold, and then they decided it's too much effort. That hurts, and they gave up actually. But one of the wolves was captured in the Mongolian style. This is how Mongolians usually shoot wolves. They wait and they go on the open. They stay on some elevated, prominent place and search the area with the binoculars or scopes. And then when the wolf gets far away from the hiding cover, which is usually some rocky area, then they can be shot. Or in this case, tranquilized. That's also not very common method. Another method is the flattery. Flattery is the colorful ropes which can be hang around, well, stripes on the ropes which can be hang around the section of the forest where wolves entered, and then wolves can be chased toward funnels to one place where there are some very high nets, 4-meter high nets, and if they are running fast enough, they will not see the net. They will eventually jump into the net and tangle, and then they can be tranquilized. However, they don't do it every time. If they are more suspicious, sometimes they will go under the flattery. This time this wolf actually decided not to go. It would be easy to jump over, but if the stripes are hanging really all the way to the ground, for him it's like doesn't like to go there. But if they, I was just speaking, this was used in Poland, so I spoke with Kasia the other day. She said that now she would not do it anymore because it's too much effort, a lot of people needed for driving the wolves over the net, and very often now they just go under the flattery. So it doesn't work all the time. So what is left for forested areas and for mountainous areas where flattery cannot be used are different kinds of traps which can be used in the forests and captured for the food. Aldrich foot snare, it's usually being used for capturing bears or maybe even large cats. And there is this Bolivia snare, which is a combination of leg hold and actually those two methods. It has the steel cable which makes a loop, and then some big jaws which lift the loop and put it on the foot of the animal. But it's not so reliable because it has many movable parts and something can go wrong. And the last one is called the leg hold trap, and this one is called soft catch because it has a rubberized jaws. The parts of the trap are the jaws. This is called the dog, which is holding the fan, triggering fan, and there is some swivel underneath of the trap. So this is like simple and robust trap, which can be used everywhere, basically, but it's used mostly in the forest habitats. I'll just show a video how this capturing with Aldrich looks like. The most critical moment in every capturing is the why doesn't it start? It's the moment when the trapper or darter has the animal, and then the animal gets stressed and jumps around, So you have to be very calm, but also focused and wait for the right moment. In this case, we are in the safety of the car, so there is no danger for us. But if you will be approaching on foot, the animal will be much more excited than in the car. So they are used to cars, they are not so agitated like if the human is approaching on foot. So, and it's also much safer.
Yeah.
So sometimes even a wolf can be captured in this aldrich snare. Technically it works, but aldrich snares are normally used, as I said, for capturing bears. Sometimes some wolves are so much excited and eager to go for the wolf, for the bear bait. It was just a small enclosure, we call it cubby, where there are two doors and aldrich snares on the entrances, and wolves would actually, they even came during the day before bears. So we use the opportunity to guard it. So whenever you approach to the animal which is captured, do it in as short time as possible. Just approach, shoot the dart, and then move away. Okay, you see that it was technically possible, but these aldrich snares, they have also more movable parts, and they would have to be sent free to be really good for wolves. So some people use it, it works, but it's more complicated for the usage and less efficient, I would say.
Do you use locking snares or?
Which snares?
Lock.
Yeah, there is a lock. Yeah, there is a lock, so it cannot get, the loop cannot get off.
No, what I mean is a rubber to stop it from going further down.
Aha. No, not this.
No.
No, this was for the bears.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not see. Was it hurt? At the
No,
last
it was
picture?
not hurt.
No?
It was. It had something on the foot from before. Yeah, from before, like some old scar. This is all, until now, this was all anomalies from traffic, so how things are not usually done. So, now I'm starting to talk about road traffic. All this was just about other kinds of traffic, and also to be captured even if you use the different kind of devices, the box straps and or the aldrich. Yeah? So, what is actually proven to be the most efficient way of trapping wolves, if we forget about all other ways like helicopter darting or this not so convenient car chasing, it's the traffic. Yeah? And it takes a lot of preparation. Usually people don't understand when they get the idea, oh, we want to capture wolves by trap. It takes a lot of preparation. Usually I know that it takes about 1 year from the initial, when somebody gets the idea or even funding for the project, to really get ready. So we need to obtain the permits, for handling, for traps, for narcotics, it depends on the country or legislation. To obtain all the necessary equipment takes a lot of, there are a lot of things needed for capturing. And in both obtaining and preparing baits, many people just overlook the importance of bait, but if there is no good bait, there is no wolf. So everything else you can forget. And then you have to learn how to do it, how to use all this equipment. And it also takes time. As I said before, the best way is to come to somebody who knows how to do it and then learn by sight. Then you have to survey the area where you want to set up those traps. Search for signs of wolves and map them. Also search the signs of human presence and other activity which may interfere with your trapping business. And then presence of other wild animals, particularly other wild carnivores. Because these traps are not selective, any other large carnivore can be captured also, or even medium-sized fox or jackal also. So you have to be ready to handle them as well, not just wolves. Yeah. Be ready for everything, for badger, fox, jackal, I don't know, dogs, whichever. Choosing the optimal time of the year might help reducing this bycatch. Then the tools and materials need to be prepared, conditioned to be smell-free or scent-free. Taps as well, yeah. And you need to be tidy, keep the things in order. Yeah. All the equipment. These are pictures from Minnesota from the...
Is that Bill Paul?
Bill Paul, yeah.
I learned from him in 86. 10
Yeah,
years
I
before.
learned from, this was 96.
Okay, 10 years your senior.
Yeah, I visited his team just to see how they do trapping, and then I already saw that how tidy his tool room or equipment room was, and there was another room, actually a trailer with baits and stuff like that. Yeah, so he was my first teacher for trapping of books. And then when I came to Turkey, I found a completely different setting, well, cultural shock.
This is our headquarters here in Park, and as you can see, it's used for a whole bunch of stuff. We use for vacuum cleaners here, homemade guns to tranquilize wolves, and DNA samples, and thermal distance temperature measures, and my bed, and all kinds of stuff.
So the first challenge was how to put things in order over there, but we did it. That was just one video by one American colleague who was also doomed to sleep in the storage room, and he made some podcasts, and I took just first
This is our...
Okay. Anyway, keep your things in order, including the baits. I keep saying to anyone, keep your shit clean. Yeah. This means all the equipment should be nicely stored or organized, and the field capture card also has to be with all the labels and everything what you need from the box for traps, for baits, and for food, and for other equipment, whatever. And get ready with your protocol, how you will handle the animal when you eventually capture it. Including the capture form or protocol for processing of the animal, and also there are some tables, I will come to this later, that are handy when you have the animal in the trap and there is no time to think about tools and calculating that. You have to be prepared for that in advance. Yeah. But everything starts with a list of equipment, which is rather long. This is just part of it, I will not go into details. So when you obtain all the necessary equipment, then you have to learn how to use it, and then make sure that everything is in place so that you can always find it quickly, and you don't have to think where is what. When the animal is captured, there is no time. Tools. Baits, yeah. There were other discussions, people asked me what about baits. There are varieties of, well, every trapper has its own favorite bait or baits. Selection of baits, there could be some homemade baits. Here it says brain or liver, or here is the urine, and all kinds of stuff. Or some commercial baits, gland lures, or wolf urine can be obtained from the US, but there's always a problem of import into Europe or any other part of the world, because it's a biological product, so it doesn't go very easily. So you can have a homemade, which you can find in nature. Wolves, cats are good if you can find enough. But sometimes it's not enough. Maybe sometimes you can collect in the zoo if you have some good connections with some zoo. But also it depends if they feed them, how they feed the wolves in the zoo. So not every zoo wolf's cat is good. Yeah, so that's much. I was already explaining to somebody how to make a homemade bait. I really found a carcass in the field or somewhere, and they use it. I was mentioning a horse or a cow or even dolphin or whatever, meat or internal organs, liver in particular. Some of my students were butchering one horse for half a day to fill up several buckets, and then we were brewing them for some few more months, and then they were good. Yeah. Keep these baits once it is ready like that, it can last for several years. Stash it. Yeah. Then learn how to trap wolves, and that takes time. There are many little details, like the devil is in the details. I had the opportunity to learn this in Minnesota in 1996, and At that time, Juan Carlos Blanco from Spain was there also learning that, and this is Dan McNulty from now in Utah. He was also there at that time, just coming from Yellowstone, and this is the big ball again. So, and Mike Nelson, he was our day-to-day hunter in the left. Yeah. Okay, so it's good to go with a trapper who knows what to do, and spend 1 season or 2 seasons or even 3 with and learn by doing things, and then you can do it on your own. Choosing the optimal time of the year. There are differences in seasons. Let's say in the reproductive season, when the wolves are more sedentary, they have pups, and they center their center of movement is around the den or rendezvous site. So if you find a place where they come, but you should not go too close, maybe you will spook them, they will change their rendezvous site, and then again you have to search again. So summer might be good or might not, depends on the climate. We have heard today that the weather is too dry and the scent doesn't travel much, or the animals will not easily smell the smelly things. In this case, the bait. So maybe the bait will dry too soon. Another productive season. In winter, wolves move more, so winter is not good, especially here in the area where if there is snow, they'll be melting and freezing, and traps will froze, and it will not work. But late, the autumn actually is good, because for the beginning and for building up the confidence, even to capture a wolf pup, which is about 20 kilograms in size, it's good for putting the collar, which is about 1 kilogram. So that's good for about the autumn. It depends about the area. Some other areas, the best time of the year is spring, if there is no hunting. In some my areas in Croatia now, in Dalmatia, there is a lot of hunting with dogs, so a lot of interference, a lot of dog being infected. Searching for signs of wolf presence, this is the necessary first step. So searching for scats, for stretch marks, doing the howling survey to find out where there are pups. So you don't go too close. Prey remains might not be so reliable, because when they finish with one prey, they will go to another area. So, but at least they will tell you they are there. Also, if you search for and map human activity, at least it's always good to know where some or what kind of human activity are in the forest. Something that can be very beneficial for trapping. Maybe if the wolves are coming to in some countries, people still, well, including Croatia, for exception, dump the carcasses somewhere instead of calling the service which will take them. So wolves are coming to such places, or there are some flocks of sheep, maybe that could attract wolves, or some distractions like tourists, hikers, bikers, logging activities. They can all interfere with your trapping efforts. So consider all this when choosing, not just where the wolves are, and also but where the humans are. And when you do this, like showing, like to study the area and all the roads which were repeatedly checked before deciding where, and then map. Like here there are clusters of points. These yellow points actually are wolf signs, and these yellow polygons are human activity areas, and the red are actually wolf traps. You see that the wolf traps are focused around the area where there is a higher density of wolf signs. That's logical. So 3 different packs were targeted at once. And then coming down to the narrowing down the selection of place, we usually, if you have decided that you will trap 3 packs, this means you will be checking the traps in 3 different areas, and that means a lot of driving. And in most of the situations, this means the traps will be along the roads, and this is the Minnesota style trapping, just putting the traps along the forest roads. And in most areas it works, but not always. There are some areas where actually there are not many of forest roads, but just dense bushes. So, what about the trap? How does it work? You all can understand how it works, I guess, yeah? The animal steps here, and then this dog, this piece which is called the dog, releases the so-called dog jaw, and then the springs lift the jaws up and the foot. Immediately the question would be, does it hurt? Well, every trapper, sooner or later, or sooner, as soon as somebody raises this question, has to demonstrate with his own hand in the trap. That's normal, yeah, I do it many times. And every trapper should try it. That's the first thing. Yeah. Actually, the whole trap is not just what was on the previous picture. Beside that, here is the swivel, which rotates to prevent tangling of the chain. Then comes the shock absorber, which softens the pulling of when the animal is captured. Then 2 meters of the chain and the anchor. These traps are free if they are not fixed. If they are put along the road, they have to be free, because when the animal is captured, it will go away from the road and will get tangled somewhere away